Carl Jung's provocative statement, "Knowledge rests not upon truth alone, but upon error also," invites us to rethink how we understand knowledge, truth, and the human journey toward wisdom. At its core, this quote challenges the conventional view that knowledge is a straightforward accumulation of objective truths. Instead, Jung suggests that our mistakes, missteps, and even our delusions play a critical role in shaping what we come to know. This idea is both exciting and profound, as it reframes error not as something to be avoided at all costs, but as a vital stepping stone on the path to deeper understanding. Let's dive into this concept, exploring its implications, Jung's perspective, and how it resonates in various domains of life. The context of Jung's philosophy. Carl Gustav Jung, a Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst, was a pioneer in exploring the depths of the human psyche. His work emphasized the importance of the unconscious, archetypes, and the interplay between opposites, like light and shadow, conscious and unconscious. This quote aligns with his broader philosophy, particularly his belief that growth and self-discovery arise from embracing the totality of human experience, both the successes and the failures. For Jung, error isn't just a mistake, it's a doorway to insight, a catalyst for transformation. When Jung speaks of knowledge, he's not referring solely to factual or scientific knowledge. He's pointing to a broader, more holistic understanding that encompasses self-awareness, psychological growth, and wisdom. In this sense, errors, whether they're intellectual miscalculations, personal failures, or even collective societal blunders, are integral to the process of knowing. Why error matters. At first glance, the idea that knowledge depends on error might seem counterintuitive. We live in a world that often glorifies certainty and correctness, where mistakes are stigmatized as failures. Yet, Jung flips this narrative, suggesting that errors are not dead ends but fertile ground for discovery. Let's break down why this is so compelling. Errors as teachers. Mistakes force us to confront our limitations. When we err, we're jolted out of complacency and compelled to reassess our assumptions. For example, in science, some of the greatest breakthroughs, like the discovery of penicillin, came about through accidents or errors that revealed unexpected truths. Similarly, in personal life, a failed relationship or a career misstep can lead to profound self-discovery, teaching us what truly matters. The dialectic of truth and error. Jung's thinking often revolved around the interplay of opposites. Truth and error, in his view, are not mutually exclusive but part of a dynamic process. Errors expose the gaps in our understanding, pushing us to refine our ideas. For instance, early astronomers like Ptolemy believed the Earth was the center of the universe, an error that persisted for centuries. Yet, this mistaken model paved the way for Copernicus and Galileo to challenge it. To the contrary, Jung would argue that both the error and its correction were essential steps in the evolution of knowledge. Psychological growth through error. In Jungian psychology, the shadow, the darker, unconscious aspects of the self, plays a crucial role in personal growth. Errors often arise from the shadow, reflecting our blind spots or unacknowledged desires. By confronting and integrating these mistakes, we achieve greater self-awareness. Jung might say that knowledge of the self is impossible without navigating the errors that reveal our hidden flaws. The creative power of error. Errors can spark creativity and innovation. In art, literature, and invention, happy accidents often lead to groundbreaking work. For example, the invention of the post-it note stemmed from a failed attempt to create a strong adhesive. What seemed like an error turned out to be a revolutionary discovery. Jung's view on knowledge. For Jung, knowledge isn't just about accumulating facts, it's about the journey toward wholeness, or what he called individuation. This process involves integrating the conscious and unconscious parts of the psyche, including the mistakes and failures that shape us. Errors, in this context, are not obstacles but opportunities to encounter the unknown aspects of ourselves and the world. Jung's emphasis on error aligns with his belief in the transformative power of struggle. He saw life as a series of tensions between truth and error, light and shadow that drive personal and collective evolution. By embracing errors, we engage with the unknown, which is where true growth occurs. Real-world implications. This idea has profound implications across various domains. Science and innovation. Scientific progress thrives on trial and error. Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. Each error in his experiments brought him closer to inventing the light bulb. Jung's quote reminds us that the scientific method itself is built on the principle of learning from mistakes. Personal growth. On a personal level, errors teach resilience and humility. A career setback, for instance, might lead someone to discover a new passion or purpose. Jung's perspective encourages us to view these moments not as failures but as essential parts of the journey towards self-knowledge. Society and culture. Societies, too, learn through error. Historical mistakes like misguided policies or societal injustices often lead to reforms and progress. The abolition of slavery, women's suffrage, and civil rights movements all emerged from the recognition of collective errors. Jung's insight suggests that societal knowledge evolves through the painful but necessary process of confronting mistakes. The excitement of embracing error. What makes Jung's statement so exciting is its radical optimism. It invites us to see errors not as sources of shame but as sparks of possibility. This perspective is liberating in a world that often demands perfection. By embracing error, we open ourselves to curiosity, experimentation, and growth. It's a call to adventure, an invitation to step into the unknown, make mistakes, and learn from them. Imagine a world where errors are celebrated as opportunities for growth. Scientists would fearlessly pursue bold hypotheses, knowing that failure is a step toward truth. Artists would experiment without fear of criticism. Individuals would take risks in their personal lives, trusting that even missteps would lead to greater wisdom. This mindset transforms the pursuit of knowledge into an exhilarating journey, where every stumble is a chance to discover something new. Challenges to this perspective. Of course, embracing error isn't always easy. Society often penalizes mistakes, and our own egos can make it hard to admit when we're wrong. Jung's philosophy requires courage, the courage to face our imperfections and learn from them. It also requires humility, as we must acknowledge that truth is often elusive and that our errors are part of the process of finding it. Moreover, not all errors are equal. Some mistakes, especially those that cause harm, require careful consideration and accountability. Jung's point isn't to glorify error but to recognize its role in the broader pursuit of knowledge. The key is to approach errors with a mindset of learning rather than defensiveness. Conclusion. Carl Jung's statement, "Knowledge rests not upon truth alone, but upon error also," is a powerful reminder that the path to wisdom is paved with both successes and failures. Errors are not the opposite of knowledge but its foundation, pushing us to question, explore, and grow. This perspective is as exciting as it is profound, inviting us to embrace the messiness of life as a source of insight and transformation. Whether in science, personal growth, or societal progress, errors are the crucible in which knowledge is forged. So, the next time you make a mistake, take heart, you're not failing, you're learning, and that's the essence of Jung's wisdom. If you'd like, I can dive deeper into specific examples of how this idea applies to a particular field, like psychology, science, or personal development. Just let me know.